Welcome back to Conjuror. Today we'll be looking at another deck made by me, and it is my Lilith cycle deck. So we'll have a look at what's in it. I've got God Supports Me, Power Surge, Ethereal Fairies, Idara, Paladin Kayla, True Believer, Dagra, Rogard, Boss Rat, Cal the Weak, Fire and Sword, Lilith, Hammer of Thor, Swift Grog, Lord Victus, and Dravron. So this deck relies on Lilith to use her Steal ability to take the opposition's creatures and use them against them. Boss Rat is in there to provide support and give us some rats and stuff to attack with. And we've got a couple of True Believers and Kaylas in there just to keep everyone alive that a little bit longer. So let's get this deck on the road. Alright, so we got first turn. We've got a fairly healthy hand to begin with as well. It would have been nice if we were second to play, because then we could have played our Lilith first turn. So what we'll do is we'll play our Power Surge and our Lilith and our Kayla behind our Lilith. And then we've got Cal the Weak. If Run decides to play the Quicksand in front of Lilith, we've got a Fire and Sword if they decide to play some lower health creatures. So here we go. So that Rogard is probably going to get a Gorthog placed in front of it. Oh, it's an Ethereal Fairy in front. That's interesting. Trust Run to completely destroy any chances of us getting anywhere. So now we're on the back foot, but a Fire and Sword will hopefully deal with that. So we'll play our Lilith and our Fire and Sword because he's got no cards left in his hand. Or actually, we'll play our Cal the Weak. So he has to draw some cards. So now we'll Lilith and buy a mana. So I could have played our Lilith last turn, however I decided to wait and just place that and kill off all those Rogards. So now we'll use our Lilith to steal Bryn, and we'll place our boss rat behind our other Lilith to get some rats going. Now of course we're holding on to our Hammer of Thor here to prevent any massive creatures coming out that could deal some major damage to us. So we're forcing Run to draw cards, but we don't want to get too confident, so we'll just play our Gorthog and a rat behind him and buy a mana. So basically what our rats end up doing is being there for suicide missions. You pump them up as much as you can and then you just send them at the enemy. They're not so much for attacking and killing the opposition's health points, they're more for clearing the enemy minions. But we've got a victory, so that's a good start for our deck. And we will jump straight back into another one. Oh wow, they've just gone and changed the artwork, so that's why it was a bit slower this time. But here we go, we've got cool new artwork on our Colour of the Week, and also new artwork on our Lord Victus. So we've got second turn, so we'll drop our Lilith straight away, and we'll use our God Supports Me for the extra mana. So yeah, occasionally between games, the game will actually change, as we see with our Colour of the Week now having artwork, and also our Lord Victus having new artwork. So depending what our opponent does this turn, we may just draw a card and buy a mana and attack with our Lilith. So that mutant rat is pretty strong. It's going to deal a lot of damage to our Lilith, but that's alright because we'll steal it. And then if they kill our Lilith, we'll actually play our Lord Victus next turn. However, if they don't kill our Lilith, we will play our Swift Grogue, or maybe their mutant rat and our boss rat. However, if they do play a creature, I'll more than likely kill it with Lilith and play Lord Victus just to get our Lilith back. So there we go, they flash a light to kill Lilith, and we'll take this opportunity to play our Lord Victus. We won't play our Power Surge until we know our Lilith has been placed back on top of our deck, which could come in a way of a Hammer of Thor. There we go, so Lilith is back. Now we can buy a mana. And next turn we will look at probably playing either our Swift Grogue or our boss rat behind our Lilith. So yeah, we'll play our Swift Grove. And we will buy a mana. I'm not going to attack the Gorthog with my Lilith this turn, just because if I had, they might have like a Fire and Sword or something in their hand, which would mean they could kill Lilith straight away. Oh, there's our new artwork on Quicksand as well, so that's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. However, of course, we've got our Kill the Weak in our hand, so we'll use that to kill off their Quicksand. And then we'll use our Swift Grove to hit their Gorthog for 1. We'll use our Lilith to kill their Lightbringer. Then we'll use their Lightbringer to give our Swift Grove another life. Attack their Gorthog. Attack them. And then we'll use a Power Surge just to get another mana and a rollover. So they've had to use a Flash of Light to kill off our Swift Grove. That's fine. Our Lilith is still pretty much full health. And they've decided to play a Pack Rat. That's probably... Well, I can see why they're doing it. They're doing it to stop our Lilith from just striking straight through. However, we will steal it. We'll play our Boss Rat and our other Boss Rat in front of that. So we'll get 2 rats a turn. And we'll see what they respond to this. See, with our Lightbringer, at the moment our Boss Rats are safe from Fire and Swords. They'll just get taken down to 1 life. So they've chosen to use a Hammer of Thor to get rid of one of our Boss Rats, which is advantage for us because it takes 6 of their mana out of the game. And there's a Mutant Rat, so what we'll do is we'll use Lilith to kill the Mutant Rat. Then we'll use our Lightbringer to kill their Ethereal Fury and attack with our Boss Rat. And then we'll play probably either a Pack Rat or a Mutant Rat. Oh no, we've got another Lilith, so we'll do that instead. So there's a Mutant Rat, we'll kill the Ethereal Fury, Boss Rat back up, Lilith again, and now we will play a Pack Rat, another Pack Rat, and buy a mana. So having that Lightbringer is actually really nice because it just gives us that little bit of buffer for all our cards. And this time we'll see what our Pack Rats are designed for in way of clearing out the opposition creatures. So rather than using our Lilith and dying to a Sewer Gator, we'll simply play 3 rats and 1 more over here. Now our Pack Rat is able to kill the Sewer Gator, so I'm choosing the one that's sitting in front of our Boss Rat rather than the one next to that to attack their Sewer Gator, because that allows us to attack with our Boss Rat. I'll steal their Lightbringer and cast their Lightbringer again. That protects all our rats now from fire and sword. We'll play the other mutant rat. We'll use our power surge to buy a mana. And we'll also God supports me for another mana and attack them for 6. So there's not a lot they can do now. We'll end up killing them next turn unless they cast 2 fire and swords. So we've got another victory, this is good. So we're second turn, rather first turn. We've got no power surges in our opening hand, however we do have 2 Lord Victus, a Lilith and our Swift Rogue, so we've got high power early. We've just drawn another Lilith. So we'll play her straight away. Notice I've played her at the back instead of in the front. This is just in case they cast a quicksand or something like that. It allows me to place a smaller creature or something like that in front to move our Lilith out. So that's interesting that they've played the Ethereal Fairy away from the Rogard. I probably would have played the Ethereal Fairy in front of the Rogard, that way I would have had to kill off the Ethereal Fairy before I could get the Rogard. So I'll play my other Lilith now. Buy mana. Next turn I'll play the Rogard behind this Lilith here. Poison genotypes are pretty nice, we haven't seen a lot of them. They basically do 1 damage to me every single turn of the enemy's turn. So we've got that Rogard now. This poison genotype is nice with that Ethereal Fairy in front of it because it's preventing me from attacking with my Lilith unless I want to risk losing this Lilith, which I don't really want to. They can feel free to attack me next turn though with their poison genotype. And I'll play my boss rat over here. This is all just mind games for them. I mean, they can cast a fire and sword if they had another mana. They might have a power surge though, which will give them another mana. So that's exactly the reason I attacked with my Lilith last turn onto the poison genotype, was so they can cast their they can attack and basically put poison genotype into my hand for me. Oh nice, Paladin Kayla's got some new art as well. She's looking way better than the old art. It's really cool when the game changes around you. So we'll use our Rogard to kill off Paladin Kayla, although it would be nice to have her in our hand. If we attacked with our Lilith, she would have died. So we'll play our Ethereal Fairy, give our boss rat another attack. Then we'll play our pack rat in front of our boss rat, our poison genotype in front of our Ethereal Fairy. Basically it's just protecting vulnerable cards like these two. That's a pretty good move. However, I can play a... Oh, there's another Lilith, but I'll play our Lord Victus. And our True Believer with a pack rat in front of it. Use our Rogard to kill the Plagued Elk. I didn't need to, but... And now they've got 5 mana, so they can play Fire and Sword. and if they do that I'll recycle. There we go. So we just got our Lilith back on top, and that's exactly why you play things like, say, pack rats in the front row, if you don't rely on pack rats, that is. And remember to always attack with cards that are in the back before you play cards in front. In this case we're not going to need to, because we can kill them just like that. So that's pretty good. We've got 3 from 3 with my Lilith cycle deck. We'll just have another look at it. So we've got a good handful of God Supports Me and Power Surges in there, just to try and get, if we get turn 2, to get that extra to get that Lilith in first play. We've got our Ethereal Fairies in there to just give us a bit more attack. Some Idaras in there to get around quicksands and to give us an extra attack to win the game. Dagra, we didn't actually see her at all, but it's just also nice to have that extra draw. And we also didn't see our Dravron, but that's fine, because, you know, that's just really an intimidation card. Most of the damage comes from using Lilith. So this has been Lilith Cycle. I've been Lost One, and I hope you've enjoyed watching Conjuror the game.